I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine a few years back, and I was just kind of explaining to him the recent success that I had in running my own business for the first time. And I said, thank God. And he was caught off guard. He did not like the fact that I would give God any credit for my success, that I had worked too hard. What does God have to do with any of this? And I told him, I was like, yes, I did work hard, and it did take a lot of effort on my part, but I knew that it was only because of God that I was able to be successful in that regard. But he was just not having it. He said, God, it has nothing to do with God. God um, is out of the picture. You did the hard work. You deserve the credit. And I think that's the way our world sees things. And you hear it all the time in the movies. They say, "Oh, just believe in yourself," and it sounds so happy-go-lucky and so beautiful. But believe in yourself. What do you have to believe in? You're just another human being. There's nothing special in that sense, right? So believe in yourself. We're going to do away with that today, and we're going to turn back to God. We're going to turn back to clinging to God. In our reading today from Job, it says, "The righteous holds to his way. The one with clean hands increases in strength." Right? So if we can't depend on ourselves, what do? We depend on God. We cling to God. We hold fast to God because He's the one that's going to get us through it. He's the one that's going to make us successful. It sounds like pie in the sky. It sounds like it, but it's not. If God is who He says He is, then doesn't He deserve credit? Doesn't He deserve to be thanked? We should be grateful for everything that He's done for us. So, if you look at the Old Testament, I don't know if you've ever spent any time there, but in the Old Testament, there's the story of the Israelites. For example, you've probably heard of the story of Moses and the Ten Commandments and him leading the people out of slavery in Egypt. There's a Charlton Heston movie all about it. If you haven't seen that, then go back and watch it. But afterwards, Moses gets the people to the promised land, but he's not allowed to enter. He dies before entering the promised land, and he hands the torch or passes the torch on to one of his military leaders, Joshua. And Joshua takes the Israelites into the promised land where they got to fight for this land that God had promised them. They were expecting to just kind of get there and it was going to be paradise, but now they have to fight for it. And he leads them through all kinds of battles throughout his lifetime. And when he gets to the end of his life, he has some important words that he wants to share with his people before he passes on. He says this. He says, "You must hold fast to the Lord, your God, as you have done up to this day." So in fighting all those battles and leading the people of God to the promised land, Joshua did exactly what he's challenging these people to do. He held fast to God. And he even says to them, "You've done it up until this point, but continue to do it." You've got to hold on to God, cling to God. It's only because of Him that we've been successful, and it's only because of Him that you will continue to be successful. So that's the challenge that I think we all have to make, is to cling to God, is to not get too comfortable on depending on ourselves or believing in ourselves or whatever the new phraseology is. But there's only so much we can do. The most important thing is to trust that God is the one leading us, that God is going to get us through, and we got to cling to Him. Jesus even says, He says, "I'm the vine, you're the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing." What does that mean? It means we need God. We got to hold on to God, just like the vine is part, or the branches are part of that vine. If they're cut off from that vine, they wither and die, right? That's what Jesus tells us. So, challenge for us is to cling to God, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the situation, no matter where we're at in our lives. Cling to God, and He's going to get us through it, right? And that's where the life and the help and all that we want comes from Him. If we separate ourselves from Him, then who else are we going to turn to? So, cling to God. That's a challenge for today. I'm Ricky Jones of Leaders That Follow, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day.